Hi, I'm Sean, a final year computer science undergraduate at Nanyang Technological University. Today I would like to present my final year project, Pruning Deep Neural Networks for Encoding and Decoding the Human Connectome. Now that title was a mouthful and I'll break it down after a brief overview of today's presentation. So today there are three main components of the project that I would like to break down and go over. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the objectives and the background information, illustration of deep learning and its concepts, as well as finally the illustration of pruning and how it helps us with our aims. So let's go over the aims and the backgrounds first. The main focus of the project is to identify biomarkers of two neurodegenerative disorders, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases, using deep learning. So to put that in slightly more detail but still simple terms, we are trying to leverage the strength of deep learning methodologies to help identify key regions of the brain that can serve as indicators for neurodegenerative disorders. So what is a neurodegenerative disorder? Well, a neurodegenerative disorder are diseases that literally involve the degeneration or death of certain parts of the brain, hence the term neurodegenerative. So what this basically entails is that there are parts of the brain that actually die off, and this will affect a patient's cognitive function and motor functions. So two main diseases we're focusing on, as I mentioned just now, are Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. Parkinson's disease is the irreversible degeneration of the brain that causes disruption in memory, cognition, personality, and other functions. And for Alzheimer's disease, afflictors usually display two of the three symptoms, slowed movement, muscle rigidity, and tremors. So why are we focusing on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease specifically? It's because both of these diseases are what we consider idiopathic. This means that there is currently no known cause of these diseases, and consequently there's no known cure for these diseases, which is why it's so critical for us. And this is an fMRI scan. This is basically the data that we're going to be working with for this project. And fMRI stands for Functional Magnetic Resonance Imaging Data. And what that does is that fMRI basically measures the brain activity by detecting blood flow and other metabolic function. We are basically going to be taking this data, and through our own mathematical pre-processing, we are converting this image data into a 34,716 matrix that will be used as an input to our deep learning neural network. So it's quite large. So now on to the next question, what is deep learning exactly? So to keep things simple, deep learning is essentially a subset of machine learning, which itself is a subset of artificial intelligence. And the basic idea is to create a computer program that can learn in the same fashion as a human can. And of course, the main goal of a deep learning neural network is to create a model that is able to complete a task without being explicitly programmed to. Now I'm going to go over a quick and brief deep learning illustration. A lot of this has been simplified. This model I'm showing you here is actually extremely simple, and it's nothing even close to what we're doing. The input layer is actually going to represent the amount of data that we have. If you remember previously, I mentioned that we have 34,716. That's how large our input is going to be, but for here we have 4. And right now we only have one hidden layer, which is the 3 neurons in the middle there, the 3 circles. But in the actuality, we have a couple of layers with much more neurons. So what happens is that from the input data, we're actually going to have some data that we're going to pass in to this input layer. All that means is that we're just throwing in data into here, and what's going to happen is that we're going to propagate this data through the entire network. And that's fancy talk for just we're going to perform a few mathematical operations that the program is going to try to view as interpretations to eventually classify this data as either a disease or a healthy fMRI scan. So in this case, let's say we get a value of 0.79 and 0.21. What this represents to us is that it's telling us the model is 79% sure it's disease and 21% sure it's healthy. Of course, we will actually tell it that, okay, it's either healthy or disease. So let's say we tell it it's disease. It's still going to try to improve because it's not 100. Odds are it's never going to reach 100%. It's never going to be 1.0 for its classification. So it's going to try to improve. And through this technique called backpropagation, it's able to actually correct itself. It's able to actually artificially alter the data that's coming in, the input data. So in this case, let's say for the arrows that are pointing up, it's telling us that, okay, whatever data is coming into these neurons are probably going to be important. So we're going to artificially alter that data. We're gonna increase its importance. And for those arrows that are pointed down, they're going to downscale the importance of the data. We're going to downplay it. So let's say we want to show an example. This is how the data would change. It will actually go up and down. Of course, because we have multiple samples, every new sample is going to have new data, but essentially we are trying to find out which regions of the brain, which is corresponding to each of 34,000 matrix data, is going to be considered important for us. So what is pruning? Pruning is a general technique used to develop smaller and more efficient neural network models. And it functions basically by eliminating nodes and/or connections that are considered less important. So how does that help for our overall project? So we're interested in finding out which of our inputs are important as they will serve as our biomarkers. If you remember if you remember what I mentioned at the start. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying to find out we're trying to find the most important inputs, and those will serve to us as indicators as to whether the brain is healthy or diseased, and this can give us insights to finding out why these regions are being affected. Of course, this can only be done if the model is accurate to a certain degree, so we still have to train and ensure our model learns well with the limited data we have. And in a very extremely condensed version, we are reverse engineering a neural network that we have to train in some sense of the word. So to illustrate how pruning actually works, assume that we have the same architecture. I'm not going to throw in numerical values this time to keep things simple. Let's say after a few rounds of propagation and learning, we have determined that certain nodes are not as important. They seem to have a very low importance for determining our conclusion. So what we do is that we actually get rid of them entirely so we can get a more efficient network. We don't want that data there to be negatively affecting our classification. So we do something like this. So this is what happens after pruning. We can actually identify which nodes are considered less important, and we remove the nodes and the connections. So we create a smaller network, as you can see here. Again, this is extremely simplified, but notice that we're particularly interested in the input layer, because what this means is that now these three inputs, we can consider them as important biomarkers in that sense of speaking, in terms of our context. And this is ultimately what we're after. We want to figure out from our 34,000 regions, our 34,000 matrix, which represent all our connections, which are the ones that are considered most important, because we want to reverse engineer that and figure out, okay, based on these connections, these are the regions of the brain that are considered most important. And with that is the end of my video presentation today. I hope that you have a better idea of what my project is about, and thank you for your time.